started here. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Now, you used to have a big crowd and a big voice and doing the pledge. But anyway, this is a part of the meeting that we are open to anybody that's not on the agenda. If you got something you want to talk about that's not public tonight or what we're talking about, we can listen to you and we can talk about it at a future date. So is there anybody that's not on the agenda that has something they want to talk about? All right. Mike Payne.
Hello.
You can come up here if you want, or
I don't stand for very long.
you can sit down.
Yeah, thank you.
We'll let you have a seat.
We won't charge you anything.
So what you got going?
Well, my name's Michael Payne, and I live in Austin. I own 5 Seattle Parts and Austin Public Auto Auction. But my new job is I'm a pastor, American Baptist pastor, and I've got to deal with a lot of people that were having the issue of addiction. And even one of our helpers took 36 people back before they started Todd's Place to different rehabs. But we're still having a lot of issues with the addiction within our community. And when I talked to some of my friends, they said that 2 years ago and the 2 years prior to that, they still put 38 people in body bags from an overdose within our county. And so we're still needing something more. And we've been wanting to, we're wanting to do Jesus Saves Recovery Community there in Austin. And if you come down 7th Street to the second road, which is Cross Street, we want to go right on out through there towards the interstate. And on 5 acres out there, we want to, on the right-hand side of the street, we want to put in 3 modulars for people with addiction issues, 2 for men, 1 for women. On the left-hand side of the street, we want to put in 1 for homelessness, because a lot of times homelessness is associated pretty one-on-one with addiction. So, and then at the end of the street, we want to put in a community building, which for that community there, which would have a place in it to cook food for those that were there in the program, and also for meetings. There'd be a large open area. And I'd like to, I'm an IU guy, and Herman B. Wells, when he needed help, he would go find the best he could find in the country. And he'd go ask him what the problem was there. And he would get them to come to IU Bloomington. And, we still have an issue there in Austin. And I went and found Stephen McNary. He was an envoy in the Salvation Army. And he was with them for 32 years altogether. 26 years continuously at the last of it. And they've done away with his position, and he's open to come and help us. And he started ARC programs all over the country, and he's willing to help us start it there. And he's willing to run it for us. And his name's Stephen McNary. Stephen?
Yes.
Would you like to come up and present the program for us?
Good evening, everyone. I talk
loud.
loud, so I don't mean anybody any disrespect. But we are excited that we get to come and present Jesus Saves Community to you. We know that there's a need in this community for the help. We want to do this because we feel like we can make a difference in this community. I've been with Austin now, it's been 13 years. When I found Austin, I got a phone call. I ran Salvation Army Adult Rehabilitation Centers for 27 years, and I've been involved with the Salvation Army for 32 years. I got a phone call. I was sitting in my office. I was stationed in Indianapolis, Indiana. And I usually didn't get these phone calls. And this phone call was a gentleman that was in distress. He said, I don't know who I'm talking to, but I need help. My grandson is dying out here. And I said, well, God got you to the right person. And his name was Pastor Harold White. And I said to Harold, I said, we hadn't met. And I said, come to my office. And he came to my office. And from that interaction, Austin became a part of my life. And when I say that to you is, I went door to door, numerous of times knocking on doors, offering men and women help that had addictions. We just wanted to let the people of Scott County know is that we can help the problem here in Scott County. What I have here, you don't have to look at them now. If I could just pass these out.
Here, I'll get some.
Okay, I'll just put them there then. We have a brief PowerPoint presentation. We can go to the next one.
Sorry.
You have a clicker?
I don't.
Okay. You have your enter button?
If you go, down the right corner, there you go, you got it.
Again, as we spoke, we're Jesus Saved Recovery Community. What that involves is us helping men and women to become more stable in the community. I have numerous of years of helping men and women with addiction. My wife and I, again, ran Salvation Army Adult Rehabilitation Centers for 24 years, and my wife retired. She's a little older than I am. So then I went to Fort Wayne, Indiana, and was the chaplain there. I'm a loudmouth guy, but I'm straightforward, and all we want to do is help. This isn't about getting credit. This is about helping men and women find their way, because we believe this. When we help a man or a woman, we've helped the family. And if we've helped the family, we've changed the neighborhood. And if we've changed the neighborhood, we've been effective in this community, making it a better place. And that's all we want to do. We are, as you say, men and women who have been addicted and who have come out of that addiction to show that it works. If I could, if you've been in addiction and you're here to support us, would you just stand? You don't even have, if you're just here to support us. This is just some of our supporters that know that this is needed in the community. The next one, please. We are. Why are we here? Well, I just spoke that. We want to help. If you're sitting around this table or if you're in this room, you've had some experience with someone in addiction. Whether it's your families, whether it's people that you know. And the reason why I say that is because of the influence that is taken over. My wife and I, plans, I live in Rome City, Indiana, 21 miles from Sturgis, Michigan. And our plan is to move to Austin. We have a house right on the campus, and we'll be right there connected. Again, I might repeat myself a couple of times, but I get excited because I see what it can do. I see men and women that didn't give up, and now they're back in this community giving back. Can we go to the next one? Can we go to the next one? And I want to stop there. For anyone who doesn't know, we serve an amazing God. And he sent his son for every one of us. And I just want you to know, they didn't take his life, he gave up his life. And because he gave up his life, we live. And we believe that if we give men and women the structure of who Jesus Christ is in their life, he changes lives. We're just the vehicle. Next one, please. Our community mission statement is, it's a message, it's based upon the Bible, its ministry is motivated by the love of God. Its mission is to preach the gospel of Jesus Christ and to meet human needs in his name without discrimination. Jesus Saves Recovery Community will operate a rehabilitation facility that provides help and hope to individuals with a variety of problems, including issues relating to substance abuse. Our residential program offers spiritual, emotional, and social assistance in an environment designed to help participants live healthy and fulfilling lives. Jesus Saves Recovery Community will serve as a beacon of hope to people seeking help of any number of social or life issues, including problems related to or substance abuse. Our program focuses on the physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being of the people who choose to participate. Jesus Saves Recovery Community focuses on faith-centered and family focus. We believe, again, and I spoke, that when we help a person in our program, that we've been effective in helping our community to become a better place. Next one, please. Jesus Saves description of our program. It's a 9-month program that's dedicated for the life-changing evidence of Jesus Christ and the tools of recovery to help our clients build a house of recovery they can use and live for the rest of their lives, to live clean and sober. Jesus Saves Ministries. Jesus Saves Recovery Program is going to be a certified recovery program that assists men and women to achieve their goals in transitions and recovery. We're going to operate under a high standard of conduct, behavior, and moral principles. Therefore, each resident shall reflect these standards. I put a handout in front of everyone. I know that this meeting, we have 28 pages, and it's more descriptive that you'll be able to look at it and see what this program is going to be all about. It's a 9-month program. When you first come in the program, for the first 6 weeks, you're in what we call a blackout period. What that means is that the men and women that come in the first 6 weeks, they're in the program. After that program, after their 6 weeks, and they've done what they need to be doing in the program, they transition to phase 2, which phase 2 is now they're working, but they're still in the program, and they will start paying rent and be a part of the program. That lasts 3 months, and then we have phase 3 where they start having a 3/4 living. Now, I want you to understand, one of the things that I found out in this recovery thing, and I might pronounce this word wrong because sometimes I get tongue-tied, is the recidivism. I'm gonna get that word out. The recidivism, and I'm sorry that I don't, is where we lose them. Again, I've been doing this a long time. So what we feel that we can do is we're gonna give these folks a place to live until they're ready to go back to their families. We're gonna give them a place to live so they have the structured living and the support to continue into their recovery. If I could just show one more. To be accepted into the program, and I won't go over everything, but there will be drug and alcohol testing randomly. You have to want to be in, and you have to follow the program. So here's what I mean when I say follow the program. We have an intake packet. And for every man and woman that comes in this program, they agree with their signature that they're willing to participate in the program. And this program, we really believe, can make a difference and help this community and just help become more healthier. I won't go over the whole program because it's 28 pages, but are there any questions for me? And I have Mike and our board members. We have Mike Payne, we have Harold, don't tell me. Tell me.
Mason.
Earl Mason, and we have Mr. William Neese. And they are part of the board, and I have two young ladies that I'm going to be inviting us to be a part of the board. I think they both back there. I've already asked one, and I haven't been able to talk to the other one. But that's the,
So you're gonna mirror this off the Salvation Army's program?
no,
So it's,
totally different.
well,
Salvation Army program is a 6-month program, and it's a work therapy program. So what they do in the Salvation Army, they come to the program, and they start work therapy. And
you're talking about work in the community.
no, working in the Salvation Army.
Okay.
See, Salvation Army, and I keep saying we because I still love them. They're an amazing program. They run their thrift stores. They self-funded. They get no government monies. And so the men come in and they help with running the business in. And then at 4 o'clock is when the program starts.
So it's similarities, but you've taken the best of the program.
Yes.
And you got your own.
Yes.
Okay.
So this is initially a startup program from what you're, the Jesus Saves. There's no other program right now in Indiana. That's-
No,
This is
it.
a pilot program.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
But you're taking what you've learned over the years and,
Yes, sir.
and what works and what doesn't work.
Yes, and I have to say this, and I don't mean this in any kind of way of bragging or being boastful, but I've had the history to help. I am a recovering addict of over 30 years. I know what works. I've seen, and I want you to hear me, if you will, I've seen and I performed funerals for men and women who have died in active addiction. I've been a part of the celebration, and I've been a part of the decline. And I have to be honest with you, you see more decline than you do celebration.
I don't know, I've got some questions, but I don't know if I'm asking you or I'm asking you. I mean, you're the one with the property, I guess. Is this, because that's in the city limits of Austin, so has the zoning board, I mean, where are they at with allowing you to rezone that?
We've been in discussions with them and they're acting positive on that end.
Okay. With the city council, are they, because they would have to have some say as well, I mean,
They're acting
got that
positive. We've
support.
had some discussion with them. You know, we haven't had a vote yet, but we've had discussions.
Okay. Well, that's what we're doing here
Yeah,
too, I
yeah.
guess, so.
Yeah.
That's two of the questions.
And we're gonna donate that 5 acres to them, so we won't have any money owed to us from it, you understand?
So you're giving the 5 acres to an
Jesus.
LLC?
It's a corporation,
Yeah,
Jesus Saves. It's gonna be a 501c3 corporation.
okay,
We've been working on all that stuff and we've got part of it done and, you know, it's a process and we're working through the rest of the process. And that way, if anything ever happens to it, it won't come back to me. It either have to be given to another nonprofit or it have to be given to the city.
okay. So you said originally, or initially, I guess I should say, that you were talking about 3 modules but actually you're talking about 4,
Yeah,
because you're talking about two men, and 1 female, and then a homeless shelter.
mm-hmm,
How many people do you believe will be in each of these homes?
12 in each
So,
is the maximum,
so we're talking 36 plus whatever's in the homeless.
yeah.
Okay. And I'm gonna ask a question, and I probably already know the answer, but are these specific to local Scott County residents, or is it open to anyone within,
Well,
I guess, an
You know, when we
earshot?
took them 36 people to different places, they didn't say you can't come in if you're not from here.
I get that, but
And we would want to give other people that same, but we would especially be open for the Scott County people.
okay. So they might have a leg up,
Yeah,
so,
they absolutely would,
okay.
because we're for the Scott County area, and we know the problem in Austin.
Well, it's not just Austin,
I know.
Scott County and Hull and Scottsburg.
I know.
It's not just,
It's better now than it was.
it's not singled out. Yeah,
My
it's
son's in Fort Wayne right now.
Yeah, it's not singled out to Austin. I wish people would quit doing that, because it's not, so. So it's definitely not just, you know, that problem there, so, and it never was. I mean, it came out that way. So, I asked about the zoning, I asked about, you know, if the city was involved as well. Once you get this up and going,
Over a year ago, the man come and asked me if I thought someone was right for the job. And I didn't think he was at that time. And I found somebody that is right for the job. You know
Well,
what I'm saying?
yes, I know exactly what you're saying. I guess my question, and this is usually with any new thing that starts up, is how do you sustain this, you know, financially after, you know, the startup? Once you have your money for capital for the homes and infrastructure and everything that you need to have, how are you going to keep funding it down the road?
Part of it will be self-funded, where they'll start paying $200 rent,
So you're talking about the
the ones that are there.
recovery,
Yeah.
okay,
When they go out and get jobs. They'll be paying $200 a week rent, that'll be everything paid. And then we've got some food pantries that are willing to help us on the food cost and that stuff. And, we still have some connections with a place in Cincinnati that will give us meat.
So
And
you're-
then,
some of the food stuff is, and I venture to say it's probably a lot of the cost.
uh-huh,
So,
and then, of course, we're gonna solicit donations from churches, and we're gonna solicit it from businesses. And we're gonna ask them to hire people that are coming through the program at a certain point, and then we're gonna ask them to hire them after that, after they get through with the program. Because every place in America is starving for help right now.
that's a fact.
You know how hard it is to find it.
Yeah. I've never in my life ever thought I'd see a billboard with people begging for people to come work.
Yeah, yeah,
Because when I graduated high school, everybody had to go to Texas to work, because there wasn't any jobs,
Exactly.
so.
we had a friend went down there and he got killed the second day there, on the
Probably
job.
the same friend,
Might have been,
Mark,
yeah,
yep. Yep,
yeah,
saw him the day he left town.
yeah.
So, but anyway, I think you've answered the questions. I think you've answered all my questions. Randy or Greg, you got comments or
Yeah,
questions?
I'll comment, you know, Mike, you've been in this community your whole life. I know you've given, everything you could to this community, one way or another. This ain't nothing new to you.
Yeah.
And, I believe your heart's in the right place. And I believe, you know, we have some money here, we have restricted, we have unrestricted funds. Restricted funds has to go to rehabilitation. And, The unrestricted, there's, I don't know, there's certain criteria that can go to, but I guess they can go to restricted if you so choose to do it.
I guess what's the request?
We haven't got it yet.
Yeah. So, I guess what I'm gonna say is I'm 100% behind you.
Thank you.
The only reason I asked is I couldn't answer the question unless I know what
Yeah.
the request is for, how much, and what the purpose is.
I don't think we're there yet.
Okay.
We're at, each one of those modulars is gonna be 100,000 apiece. The, building, we're thinking we can come on the community building. As such, we're thinking it'll be 100,000. And so we're in need of 500,000. And we're searching for what you guys can help us with of that much. And we believe we can come up with the rest of it.
They just told me we have, on the restricted side, we have $131,531.13. On the unrestricted, we have $87,899.49. For a grand total of $219,430.62. And that's everything we have.
When was the last draw? We've got our draw for this year yet?
I don't think he's been received in, do you?
We have, it's usually June, May, June.
This looks like last year it came in August. So no, we have not received anything.
But I will say that, I know there's
Last year's disbursement was very low,
It was
right?
very
like
low.
67 or something like that. Because the first year, the reason it was so high was that the first year they didn't give it out, so in the second year, they gave 2 years. And then from there, it
It
went
was
down.
2 years, and then there was a separate issue, I think, with the way the payments were structured.
And then also, there was a secondary lawsuit that was finalized, but that didn't come in as a big windfall for us, I guess, but, so your ask for us is just whatever we can help you with, and you're gonna reach for other locations as well, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, well,
Did you have anything?
No, I mean, we obviously support you, Mike. I mean, you're the anchor for this, and we respect that. And so that certainly gives us the confidence to know that it'll be done right. And, and also I see Shane out there, so I know, and Laura's been involved in a lot of things, so, and I'm sorry, I don't know a lot of the other folks, but, so I guess from, a credibility standpoint, I'm just saying, I know you guys, and we certainly work hard to make this a success. I think one of the things that I just like to see is, some type of action plan, as far as with our employers to say, we visited, this place or this manufacturer or this guy, and they're willing to take on X amount of folks to work. I do really like the idea of that 30 to 40 range of people. I think that's manageable, and where it doesn't become
Unmanageable, yeah.
so, I think that introduces a lot more risk. So far, I mean, I really like what your approach and.
Mr. Prince, could I say something? Because our plan for the program is that we go, that I'm going to every factory, every job that we feel like we can get them in. They have to work first shift because they're in the program. Then we're going to banks in Austin. And a part of this program is they have to save 40%. That is a part of the program of their checks. And so when they're done with this program, they're not left with nothing. And this is a skill that we're teaching that will make a difference for the people that we're able to serve.
Yeah,
Teaches them a lot of different, I'm William Neese, teaches them a lot of different life skills and, so they'll be ready when they leave from there, they have money to, you know, rent them a place and they have to be able to get their license. We've got a lot of different tools that we're gonna use to get people productive in our community. For me as an addict, standpoint, you know, recovering addict, we always send our people from our hometown off to these other counties, alright? And yeah, they do good, you know, when you're off in this other county, because you don't know anybody, you're just there for a short period of time. But in our community, when they come back, they're still looked at the same stigma as when they left from here. Oh, he's just probably been in jail or something. Alright, now if we help our people here at home, and we build them up here at home, our community gets to see them build up, and they give them more self-confidence about themselves because people's gonna be approachable, you know, a lot different other ways. You know, instead we send them off, bring them back, and we stick them right in the same mess, and they're just going for rehabilitation. When they come back, they're stuck in the same hole. If we build them up here at home, we're gonna have a more successful rate.
Yeah, I agree with that. Do you have and I will read through this, but I mean, do you have a business plan of sort where you've got something for?
we do not have a written out business plan, you know, but
So has the LLC been formed?
yeah, it's not an LLC, it's an incorporation. It's Jesus Saves Recovery Community Incorporated.
Okay.
And we've applied for our 501c3, which is part of that.
Yeah. So what is your timetable for what you're planning on doing here?
We want to be open within 6 months, because there's a 4-month waiting period on the modulars. If we ordered them tonight, it would take 4 months to get them here, built and get here.
So they're custom built for your
Yeah,
setup?
they're 5 bedrooms,
Okay.
3 baths in each one of them. So when it's time for them to get up and get ready, they can get up and get ready.
So each person would have their own, each bedroom would have their own bath?
It'd be four people to a shower, which is manageable. The older ones of us have lived under them conditions.
Lived in more, so.
Yeah. Yeah,
There's 5 in my family and one bath, so.
yeah,
Actually 7,
so
so.
you know the door lock.
Yeah. Get out. So you're talking about a 6-month startup,
Yeah,
and, we have, funding that, I know, the first year we had the funding, we had a lot of people coming asking for money within the community. Some of it, was easy to give, and some of it, you know, you wondered, and I mean, I'm gonna be honest here, if the program is successful, then I think that's what you spend your money on. If you see that something, you can't see the win at the end of it, then it may not have been as successful as what you thought it was gonna be. So, you know, I know we give a lot of stuff to CEAS, and they have a lot of programs within the community, so, but this is something that, you know, I'll be honest, I think that, you know, with the right person, and I believe this guy can talk, I mean, I'm sure he'd back up his talk, but I think with the right person, and you may have found that person, it can be successful, because, you know, I see a lot of people that do go to Fort Wayne, I see a lot of people go elsewhere. I've seen them go to Florida and come back, but if we can keep it, you know, where it's working here, I mean, I definitely would be for it. I mean, you know, the thing I'm looking at is, and the questions that I was entertaining was zoning
Yeah.
and sustaining and making sure that we had a community that was involved in it, being the city of Austin and what their thoughts are on it, so.
And those are some hurdles, right? I mean, that's.
Yep.
some things you're gonna-
Everything's heard.
So, I think you'd have our
We're
support.
counting on
I
the
mean,
Lord to open the doors for us.
yeah, I think you have our support. I mean, if that's what you're asking,
Well-
but I, you know,
Could you give us a number that you're willing to support us on? We get all the other okays?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, Randy, you got a number of your, I think you would have.
Well, like I said, we have $219,430.62 total altogether. And for me, this is the type of program that I've been hoping that would come forward.
Uh-huh.
And so, you know, I'm only one person, but for me, you know, contingent on Austin making sure that you guys can get everything you need to get this thing in place. Once that happens, I'd be willing to give you $219,430.62. The rest is up to them.
Well, I mean, I get that. I mean, and quite honestly, backing up,
What is the?
The restricted,
that was the total.
that's
That's
the
the total restricted,
That's
No, that's
restricted
not-
and unrestricted.
that is restricted and unrestricted.
That wouldn't be, that's why I was getting to a while ago. That wouldn't be a problem with it.
I will say that until, what is the status of the establishment of the 501c3? So you said you got the board members,
Uh-huh. We got a board?
usually that's a 1-year turnaround,
Yeah,
so,
it's gonna be sooner than that.
okay,
But
When
we
did
got
you-
we got our federal number. And
your
then,
EMA,
we've applied for the 501c3, which shouldn't be very far out.
when was that application submitted?
This last week, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
That usually takes a year, is there,
They're telling us two months on
okay.
it. Yeah.
So once that was established, I would say probably it meets the qualifications under the abatement strategies that have been outlined by the Attorney General.
Mm-hmm.
We would probably have to enter into some form of grant agreement,
Mm-hmm.
and you will have to assist with the county's responsibility to annually account for any of the funds expended.
Yeah.
So usually what we have done is, so CEAS and some of those other programs have submitted essentially a grant proposal request to us,
Mm-hmm.
where they outlined how they intend to use the funds and what amounts for what purposes.
Mm-hmm.
We've tried to first determine whether or not it met the parameters of what the Attorney General says we have to use this money for.
Mm-hmm.
And then separately, we enter into a kind of a sub-recipient grant agreement with you guys.
Uh-huh.
As you go, you just account for what you use the money for. So, I mean, it sounds like a lot of it would be one-time purchasing, so,
Yeah.
I will tell you that when they originally came out with, most of the guidance on the use of these funds, brick and mortar was a no-no. They said you can't build things with this money. So if you're talking about purchasing modular homes, I don't know what that, I would have to get that reviewed by outside counsel to determine whether or not that fell outside the parameters of what you can use the money for. You can use it to fund the program, you can use it for salaries, you know, to expand services that already exist. I don't know about building things or buying structures. I'm just being honest.
Well, we can reach out to Frostpod
I
and
will do that.
ask them if, and they were an Indianapolis law firm is
Okay.
why we're, and they're very familiar with what, what you
We
can.
work mostly out of a local office, but yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
but it's, they know what, and here's the reason, they know what we can spend it on.
Uh-huh.
Let me be clear, I mean, the program sounds like once it's up and running, would clearly qualify.
Mhm.
It's the specific use of the money, $500,000 to purchase the, actually building, I think this campus is what it sounds like, is that what we're getting?
Mhm.
So I'm just not sure that itself is a qualified use.
Mhm.
Now, for the unrestricted, that's a much smaller amount, but that
Unrestricted was 87,000.
unrestricted is much smaller than the restricted.
It was $87,899.49.
Well, again, I'm backing up to the original lawsuit that, Board of Commissioners were, actually the first identity that I know of that sued, Purdue Pharma, with an attorney from Louisiana that had a draw like nobody's business, but he was doing a pro bono at the time, for our county, and one of the attorneys was a person that used to live here, you know, when he was a child.
Uh-huh.
But when that settlement came out, you know, it came for specific reasons, and this would, in my opinion, would fall into that area, so.
Uh-huh.
What, I mean, I think if you're looking for a pledge from us tonight, I think we can say we're in, but as far as, until we get legal confirmation that,
Okay.
you know, it can't be for a building, it can't be for this, or it can be for that, or this, or a portion of the restricted or unrestricted can be one or the other, so it could be salaries, it could be, you know, equipment, it could be whatever, but, I think, you know, I think we're probably, if you're asking for a commitment, I think you having a commitment from us. How it pans out with how we can give it to you and what stage as,
Uh-huh.
are you ready for the building? And we
Yeah.
can't do that, but we can give you this much money for that part. Or if it's for salaries later on, or equipment, or bedding, or, you know,
Uh-huh.
other things, we can give money for that area at that particular time, so I think, and I know Randy said the whole thing, and we have, what we got, 14 years or 13 years on the one Purdue Pharma that they give us less and less every year, but it drags out forever. We do have money coming every year.
So like last year, the unrestricted share was $1,000.
Uh-huh.
For the city of Austin, it was $26. The abatement share was $70,000 last year. It will go up for the next year. So depending on the year, it cycles back and forth, because then it goes back down. So
So it goes up and down. But the end, I think was, what was it, 4.6? No, that's not right, 2 point something. It
for
was the
Scott County
initial.
specifically, I believe so.
It's 2.6, I think, at the beginning. But then there's another lawsuit that, the state of Indiana received from another, I think it might have been the drugstores, wasn't it?
It was like Teva, Allergen, CVS, Walgreens, those.
And that, we get a portion of that too, but it's not a big portion, but,
I got a question. Zach, you're saying no brick and mortar. Are you talking about, in that, they say that, are they talking about any real property?
So I don't know, there was a presentation that was given around the time that the funds were distributed, where the presenter was basically asked the question, can you build things, or buy structures? And the answer he gave was a flat no. Again, these grant situations, I mean, I will tell you that it's a little bit like the ARPA stuff. There were a lot of stuff that originally that they said you can't use this money for, and then, you know, the final rule came out and basically said, as long as you receive less than $10 million, you allocated all this loss recovery, there's only a couple things that you can't use it for, and that would be, you know, specifically paying down debt and other things. But there is, I don't know that I've looked at anything since that original presentation that says you can use this for those purposes. So I would just like to reach out with your all's permission.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to see, if not, I'd like to see if there's a loophole where we could purchase property
You mean the county purchase property?
with this. Cause I'm thinking, you know, and I know you're gonna laugh, but, so if we give him $219,000 for his property, what he spends that money on, once we give to him.
No, you have to account for the funds after their distribution to the grantee. So, I don't know that there's any way to.
To do that?
Yeah. I mean, again,
check it out.
what you spend, again, for hypothetically, operational expenses, if I have $200,000 in the bank and I ask for $200,000 for a specific purpose that's not qualified, right?
How about prepping the property and all that, getting it ready to bring the modulars in? Is this gonna be, you know, sewer's gotta go in, electrical's gotta go in, I'm putting the road in now, so.
So that sounds like brick and mortar, real property improvements.
Let's just get a clarification of what we can.
Okay.
I'm not saying we
Okay.
won't give you the money in different ways, but it may not be for the modulars, and it may be for something else.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
gonna
we're,
have to see
you
how.
know, we may
Okay.
not be able to do that. But I'd like to see, you know, especially because it's gonna be in the city of Austin, I'd like
Uh-huh.
to see them voting for
Yeah.
something as well, so that.
We still have to have some surveys and stuff done, and we're working with Mark on that. And, you know, then he's come forward. We got some appointments to meet there on the other things.
Well, I think the three of us are in agreement that we're gonna pledge money to you. I mean, and we're gonna need to make sure,
Okay,
and the reason
I understand.
and the reason
Don't wanna
our-
back up now,
the
5 years
reason
from
our,
now,
yeah,
do we?
well, the reason our attorney is questioning things is that if we give you money, and that money's gone out of our account,
Yeah.
and we gave it to you, and the government comes in and says,
I know.
you didn't have the reason to give them that money, we're gonna have to come up with the money and pay it back.
Not only that, it's a violation of the NDL settlement agreement that everybody entered into, and it
Yeah.
could damage.
So we need to cover our behinds,
Okay,
so,
yep,
but I think you have our, support, so.
okay, thank y'all.
I'm just
Alright,
curious,
thank you,
Mike, Stephen, so if this thing got off the ground, would you be the point of contact
Yes.
with
Yes.
all the dealings?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. And thank you guys for listening to us.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you.
God bless you.
That part,
Appreciate you guys. Thank you very much.
that part without discrimination will help anybody, no matter how bad their family is, because that's part of it.
Yeah.
Go park traffic stuff in there.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate you too, kid. Thank you. Thanks, ladies.
So, we're ready? All right. Nick? I don't know how you're gonna follow up with that.
Twice as long as truck.
How you doing?
Good, or is it?
I'm doing good.
What you got?
Alright, financials are at the top as normal. We're at 96 for the month so far, still got 2 deposits left. Paramedic, we're just shy of 13,000, those deposits for the class are starting to come in. All deposits are due by the 16th of March, so, that's good, and training's already up to 5,000 in a month and a half, so I will take that. Runs so far for the month are 267, you can see the breakdown there, and 187 transfers so far for the year. First thing, we were awarded a $60,000 grant that Kaylin wrote at the end of last year, the one that we came to you for, I think it was beginning of this year maybe. We applied for 95, I think, 85, and she wrote a heck of a grant. We got 60,000 awarded to us for training supplies, so.
Congratulations.
Oh, yeah, well,
Is that
sure,
a match or is that just 60,000?
no match.
Thank you.
So that was all her.
I thanked him, but I guess we should have been thanking you.
I did nothing but get prices, so. So that money is strictly for the training department though. So our plan is to buy some equipment that's gonna match what's on our trucks as far as ventilators and monitors, to put in the training department. As well as we're looking at some demo dose medications, which are,
It's on.
demo dose is what it is the boxes are the same, the vials are the same, it's just filled with saline instead of an actual live drug. So, it'd be really nice not to paralyze someone in the back of the class and have to do things. So, unfortunately, those demo dose medications are more than the real medications, but, we've got $60,000 to spend, so, just kind of letting you guys know. We're gonna replace some mannequins, Tyler and I went through them today. Some of them have been there probably longer than him and I have, and they're pretty used and worn. So we're gonna replace some of those. But yeah,
We will need a Form 1 for the grant, so we'll create a grant fund, and I'll need a Form 1 to go with that grant fund, so we can set all of that up for you, so when those claims start to come in for paying back.
it should all just be training equipment. It should just need to be one line. Cause
Just
it's
a single?
it's all supplies and equipment.
Okay.
So
That's
there won't
gonna
be any payroll, won't be any of that stuff. It's just gonna be equipment and supplies is all it's gonna be. So, I know that, under the fund number, we should just have to have one line item. So that'll be easy on your end and ours though. We still have to get, some portal. Is she in here?
He's back there.
Some portal opened up that she has to submit like a direct deposit and stuff too. She's handling that. I don't know anything about it, to be honest. But yeah, she's taking care of that. So, but we must spend that money by the 1st of September, so we don't have a really long time frame.
You don't have a problem.
Listen. I feel like we make a lot of money too.
You do make money. You do make more than any other department, I'll put it that way.
You're welcome. Second thing is, I kinda did this one out of order, just because of the time frame. We'd also like to apply for the AFG grant. Yeah. No, I left it on my whiteboard. You wanna go get it? I can talk real slow. What it is it is a 5% match grant. If I miss.
Is that the $1 million that?
Huh?
Is
It's
that
up to $1 million. We're not gonna get that because of our population, but the worst I would be out would be 50K for $1 million.
And you have it.
Yes, it's in my, I mean, I can pull 50K from my cash
You
ledger.
have it,
Yes, it's real this time.
it's real money.
Would you like to confirm I have at least 50 grand in my bank account?
You have
I
50
should-
grand in your bank
I should
account.
have like close to 700 or 800.
You might push the right button.
That was just being sarcastic.
I know, this one I do have the money for, and, the problem is, so, yeah, it's nothing that you guys can control. So, the FEMA portal that we're using is locked to Sheriff Gooden and Teresa. from when she was, I guess, auditor, and we can't get access to it.
Yeah, it's something I have to have access to as well, and you need access to it.
So how do you get access?
Yes.
We're trying.
So that's, yep. So if we can get access, I would love to apply for this.
So no one has
If-
an avenue to
From
get
the sheriff's
access?
department, they can add, any one of us, and then.
But
we
why,
can add the other.
why isn't the county FEMA?
It is, but it's for the sheriff's department when they, respond to a disaster, they put what all they've done to it into a grant. When I have like a mitigation, say if, tornadoes go through here again, I keep track of all the fire department's hours, all the county highway department's hours, the cost it takes for us to get dumpsters to haul off all of the debris and apply that for a
But again,
recovery grant, but so it
Is it
should
not-
have been all of us in there.
is it not a Scott County FEMA grant portal and not a individual department portal?
So the UEI is linked to the
Yes.
county itself, but the users, we don't have like a generic
It
user.
never got updated when Jennifer.
Yeah, the
took
UE,
over for Teresa.
the UEI is to the county for Scott County,
Okay.
but it's not, like, does that replace the DUNS number, I believe?
Yes, they did.
So the UEI comes back to Scott County government, but like it says, you must be one of these people, and I'm not, he is not.
Again, how do you change that?
We're calling FEMA tomorrow. I'm also been trying to get hold of the sheriff's department, but today being my first day in office was a little hectic, so I didn't get to go over there to speak to them. I just tried to play phone tag and, just couldn't get.
Well, it needs to
Right,
be
so-
where, if, I mean, and I'm talking about some history here, but I mean, if there's a disaster that happens in Scott County, the commissioners and EMA is going to be the one that asks FEMA for assistance.
Yes.
Not the highway department and not EMS and not anybody else.
That's
So I don't understand how
there.
we're
it's-
locked out as a county government for something that we should have access to, so figure out what we need to do, and then let us know, and we'll make sure it happens.
The deadline for that is March 4th or 8th, one of the two. I think it's the 4th,
I think
4th
it's-
of
March.
September?
So, but yeah, I, would like to.
Find out.
But I think we're gonna try to do if we get Canadian, then we're gonna do 2 applications. One for a vehicle, a truck, like an actual ambulance, and then one for everything else, like vehicles have to be under its own application, and then everything else can be lumped into one,
Okay.
so. But if I can have your graces in doing that, that would be real cool.
Yeah, maybe it's something easy, just be an added user for that.
It really is that simple. It's as simple as if we get the sheriff's department's login, or if we get in touch with FEMA tomorrow,
Well,
whichever happens first. It's literally as simple as typing my email in, or Jennifer's email, or Caitlin's email in, and, we're all in that.
well, the other part of this, and I mean, we have a person that's a part-time person that has access to this, and we don't need that. So somebody needs to be removed, because they're not in a, I don't know, but I'm supervisory position, so I would prefer one of them be not on there. So yes, you have mine. Randy, what do you think?
Yes.
Greg? So, yes, as long as you have the money. 'Cause I've
Right
asked
now
that
I do.
Asked that question before and didn't get the right
I'm
answer.
gonna print you a copy.
Okay, I'll tell you here in a minute. That way, it's real at that time.
Go ahead, what else you got?
So next thing is I would like your, whatever I need, Grace's approval or whatever, to sell some of my stuff that I literally have piled in my Connex boxes that I'm not gonna use anymore. And I can't fit in a dumpster, and like it's still somewhat probably usable to something. This is kind of compiled with some other stuff. Because of that grant, it frees up some money. And I would like to pursue replacing my other chase vehicle this year. I have the money for it. But I would like to then sell the older Durangos fully equipped, sans the radios, to kind of make it a wash. And then that way I don't have to worry about those vehicles for
You got a
another
buyer?
5 or 6 years. I have potentials, but I haven't gone into detail because I don't have your approval.
So what you're saying is that you have the money for another vehicle, but
Without
you-
selling anything at all, yes.
without selling anything,
Correct.
but you have the capability to sell one or two of the older Durangos and be able to pay for what you're
Wanting.
wanting.
Correct. So it would be as close to a wash as possible.
So we still have, that would leave us still with 3 vehicles,
Correct.
3 chase vehicles, or
Yes,
not ambulance vehicles at
Correct.
EMS.
correct. It'd be a 22, a 23, and a 24 instead of a 22, a 14, and a 14.
So we're getting away from some possible maintenance issues.
All vehicles would be under warranty at that point. And like I said, you know, I feel like 10 years, 9 years, 10 years is good to get out of these vehicles, and that's just where I'm at with us having the money for it. I'm just trying to plan ahead, that way I'm not, you know, the next year I can chase my ambulances and do what I've been doing since I've been here, is just trying to update, keep it updated, and do it, put this in a rotation. Because my whole plan was to do another one next year, but if I can do it now while vehicle prices are lower, I'd rather do it now. But I mean, I've got some older mannequins that, you know, I'm sure even the Army or somebody would be willing to pick up that I'd like to sell. I've got those, vending machine things that have been in a Connex box since day 2 since I came here. There's just a lot of stuff that I'd like to sell. I mean, whether we get $100 for it or $10,000 for it, it's better than sitting where it's at, just collecting
You get
dust.
with Kevin
I mean,
and you do that on your,
I've got a GovDeals account from where we were gonna sell that ambulance, so I just need your ability to say, hey, I can sell this stuff.
I knew the sheriff had one and he has one.
Yeah, I've got the account, I just need your graces to sell the stuff.
And we would have to set up a fund
Yes.
specific for that.
Correct.
So we would need,
Which I know I'd have to go to council and do all that, but, I just wanna be able to clean out some of these Connex and get rid of some of this hoarder stuff that we've got, but, you know, like the vehicles, if I can get the Tahoe and I can, or another vehicle and then can get rid of those Durangos, I mean, there's probably some volunteer services or other services around that would say, hey, I can buy a fully equipped vehicle for 20 grand instead of buying a vehicle for 18 grand and upfitting for another 7 grand. You know, they can put it in service that day, and that's more lucrative to them than having to put it on GovDeals or whatever. Cause I know that,
What's your thoughts?
obviously I'm not gonna just sell stuff willy-nilly and you guys come there to your building and it doesn't have walls, but, I mean, there's just a lot of stuff that, you know, we're holding on to that's just taking up space.
Well, there's a lot of Connex boxes around the county right now, and I'm trying to figure out what's in all of them.
And this
I have keys somewhere that you can get mine.
This equipment probably was a purchase of taxpayer money,
It was not.
so I don't think we have to worry about that.
It was not, none of the stuff that I'm looking to sell was bought out of any other funds but 1151s. So I won't, like, you know, I know when we sold that ambulance, it went back to TIF and I had to get it reappropriated. Like, this is 1151 money that's bought all this, so it would come back to 1151s.
I don't see a problem with it.
Well, I like the part of getting rid of 2 older vehicles that are at least 10 years old, and we're upgrading to a newer vehicle that, you know, we have a warranty on, and we're not gonna get into replacing motors or blowing a motor and go, well, we just need another $50,000 vehicle. I mean,
And he's purchasing them himself,
well,
he's not asking for.
I always like that when a
Yep.
department head saves and goes through the budget process and says, I have the money. So, Greg, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm good with it. I think that's the direction, you know, you rotate the fleet and there's some value still left in what you got, so I think.
Cause once we receive that other ambulance that we bought last year, this year, I mean, then at that point I can put that 2014 or that old one that we've got on there, and I mean, if we can get 20 grand for it, it's more than the 6 to 8 we were gonna get on a trade-in.
Yeah.
I mean, cause I'm running out of, not gonna say running out of space, but I mean, we're getting, with all the stuff I've got around, we're getting kinda tight, so I just would like to do some house cleaning, list some stuff for sale. If it doesn't sell, then I'm gonna come to you asking if I can throw it away. I mean, that's the point that we're at. So I think before we do the throw it away process, I'd like to see if I can get $10 out of something here and there.
Yeah, I'm good with it.
I think only one point of clarification, the funds, so when you sell, it goes into the auction proceed fund. It won't go back into the 1151. When it's in the auction proceed fund, though, you can use it at your discretion. That's money that is there for you to use. It's not appropriated, it's not budgeted.
But it'll be like mine
But
and
it's
Kevin's
your-
won't mix.
Right, no, it'll be your own fund.
That's, I mean, you got way more auction money than I got. So, yeah, I mean, at that point, you know, if that's the case, then that'd be kinda cool. Never had that ability before.
Alright, I'll entertain a motion to allow him to, well, first of all, let's go 2 ways. Let's entertain a motion to, allow him to do the FEMA grant once he can get in the portal, for up to $1 million with a 5% match, and he has the money for that.
I'll make a motion for FEMA grant.
So Randy makes a motion to allow EMS to apply for a FEMA grant up to $1 million with 5% match, correct?
I'll second.
Craig seconds that, and I'll make that unanimous. So on the second part, I'll entertain a motion to allow Nick to sell 1 to 2 of the Durangos fully equipped to someone else to offset a purchase of a Tahoe, a 2024 Tahoe probably. That will not or should not have to use any additional money because he will have the money, so.
I'll make that motion.
Randy makes that motion as well, Greg.
Second.
Greg seconds that, and I'll make that unanimous, so,
That's for the grant.
so.
I guess what about the other stuff? Would you like, can I like send you a list, or do you trust me enough just to kind of list, like, not vehicle stuff?
You're talking about stuff you're gonna put on Gov or .gov?
Or just even list through
I would come up,
IDHS?
I would come up with an inventory list so that you know, and I mean, this is gonna be, you know, down to, hey, I got 4 Band-Aids or whatever, but I mean, if you're giving away county property or selling county property, it has to be done properly.
Mhm.
And we need to make sure that, here's the list that we have in this Connex box, and here's what we're selling. And if it, at the end of it, and counselor, you tell me if I'm wrong here, if he's got something he's just gonna take to the dump, because there's a process for those items as well, correct? So just get an inventory,
I'll stop in frequently. So do you want my whole building or just the Connex box?
whatever you're gonna sell.
Okay, alright, cool. Yep, perfect.
So
And then
if
I
you're
come back.
selling it, I don't want somebody coming back later and say, hey, where'd that go? Capiche?
So would you like me to redo the bid process for this next Tahoe thing then?
I would like for you to reach out to all local and in the next counties or whatever and get as many quotes as possible so that everybody has an opportunity to bid.
Can we do it to where these dealers have a definitive time frame of delivery?
Yes.
Okay. That's my only ask. Alright, Tyler,
Who's he?
picked him up on the road on the way here. So, I'm gonna start this and then I'm gonna be quiet because I don't know anything about it. I mean, I know about it, but I don't know the details. We got accredited, fully accredited last year through Co-op and KF. We're good. Now every year, now every program director, since they're accredited, has to go to a meeting, mandated meeting, or you lose your accreditation. Has to be done once. This is a new one. They're in Texas or Oklahoma. We have chosen Texas.
Unfortunately.
And he can speak on the rest.
So, like he said, all new appointed program directors have to go through this program. If we don't attend it, we get put on probation, and then one more mess up after that, we get shut down. So we lose our paramedic program. We're not going through that. Nick and everybody from Jacob on has worked hard to get that. So I don't want to be the one to essentially miss this and mess that up. I had called them. They have 3 that was supposed to go on this year because I was appointed that position back in November, I believe is when it was. 1 is in March and in Dallas. June is in Oklahoma. And the 3rd says to be determined. I called to see if they knew where anywhere was going to be at in the to be determined. I said, because I'm from Indiana, small county, and gave them all the spiel. They said the closest we've been so far is Minneapolis, and that's the closest we're ever going to be. So I told him, I said we could either be proactive, reactive type thing and sign up for one of these 2, or see where it is in October, and no matter where it is, we have to go.
So everything's west of the Mississippi.
Pretty much.
So we did purchase him to attend the Dallas one because it was the closest
I
one.
thought you said the Oklahoma.
No. So the Dallas one is strictly for new program directors. The Oklahoma one is like a week
It's
long.
a Criticon. It's like a huge conference, and I would only, you're paying for almost the entire conference for me to sit there for a day and a half.
And
So
then the other one we don't know, so we pulled the trigger on the Dallas one. We already paid the registration fee for that. Our ask is, instead of him driving 16 hours, can he fly, can he travel? I filled out all the travel forms. I have it in my budget to pay for it. I just need your approval to say, yes, he can fly. Yes, I can pay him per diem. Yes, I can pay him hotel, all of that stuff.
And we looked at a lot of hotels today. A lot
like some of
from
my choices.
Motel 6s up to the Omnis. So we try to do our due diligence and keep it as least cost effective the service as we could. So as far as even him putting me on a train and a train
It's $3.
from the train to the convention
Airport to the hotel is $3. It's better than a rental car.
center. Yeah.
So the registration fees are $4.95. It's not my train. I've got in here, airfare for up to $325. Obviously that's, when we looked this morning, that we found tickets that were $277.20. If
Is that
we could,
round trip?
yes.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, that's cheaper, but I just didn't want
Southwest
to.
is
Not
No,
cheap.
It's American Airlines. Yeah, they're way more. And I looked at
Southwest?
Allegiant, and
Yeah.
yes.
Because they're based in Dallas.
Yeah, and I even called Daniel Payton and said, hey, what can we do? Can you hook me up since you fly for Delta? He says, I don't even get a discount really when I fly with my own airline. So he told me to check out American and Southwest, and they were by far, because that is one of their hubs. But I looked at Frontier and Allegiant, and even with a small pack of gun planes like Spirit Airlines, like there was nothing that.
Southwest beat everybody.
No, Air American did.
Yeah, American beat everybody.
So
And some of those were like go from Louisville to Baltimore. To
Baltimore
Dallas.
to Orlando, and yeah.
Yeah,
So
it was.
anyway, you've tried to
Yeah.
minimize the
Yes,
cost.
100%.
It's about $1,500 for, and that's including registration. I've got 3,000 in my training and seminars line item. It's there. So
Well,
it's
there ought to
there.
be, it ought to come out of the paramedic program, since, or the training program, since that's where some of your stuff is.
I can find the line item.
I'll entertain a motion to allow him to, travel as for the paramedic training program.
I'll make the motion.
Randy makes a motion, Greg.
I'll second.
Greg seconds that, and I'll make that unanimous, and I know you said you had the money.
Yes.
Get you some
Bottom
free
of the
peanuts.
Here, act,
Is where you sign.
Well, we have
We'll
free
by
peanuts
myself.
with the way
um,
So I think, from my understanding, I can pay for the airline ticket and stuff, but the stuff that's gonna have, I told him the hotel and stuff would probably have to be in his, and then us cut him a check after.
you said, well,
I said what?
I'm thinking, cause, yeah, you can probably buy his ticket. I'm trying to think of that, but a lot of times you can probably pay for it all, except for his meals. I mean, that's be something he'd have to bring receipts back for.
Yeah.
The steak dinners.
And that's only $50 a day.
32.
He tried to undercut me.
I did, I put 25, but it said the state minimum was 32.
See what I gotta deal with.
I tried.
You gotta get the cheeseburger in Dallas, that's
Yeah.
about it.
I'm coming back with a 5-gallon hat and a belt buckle.
There's like, you're gonna get 2 Wendy's and a continental breakfast.
That's right.
Cool.
No cowboy boots.
Last thing I got is, I would like your approval.
You
Yeah. I would like your approval, and I know I have to go to council as well, to bring, the ability for me to hire drivers back on the slim chance that I can't find anybody else. And it wouldn't be a regular thing, it would be in a, emergency capacity only. I'd like to offer those positions to like firefighters and stuff within the county that are already EBOC certified or whatever, that may not have the EM3 training that you have to be on, but we ran into a situation a week ago. All my trucks were out, I came to station, I didn't have anybody to come with me. So we, borrowed Scottsburg firefighter to come drive me around. And luckily he did, because shortly after he got there, we had a cardiac arrest out in the county and I was the only one to respond with the truck. So I would like the ability to have some personnel that in emergency, because normally we can't do that, but in emergency situations you can. I'd like the ability to have a couple people on my payroll that I can say, hey, I'm paying you, so I'm depending on you, to have that, I guess, more personnel in those immediate situations.
How do you define emergency situation?
When I do not have the staffing or equipment to deal with the workload or run volume that is at hand.
Can you do that by like a
I would put that in the job description,
policy?
or I can do a SOP with internal, when these people are toned in.
Yeah, I mean, you can do like that.
It's a last resort type of thing.
I can make, is a SOP good for you, like an internal one? They have to sign it, so.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I think council will also have to sign it.
Cause it changes job description. Or creates job description.
Yeah.
Actually,
We used to have it, but we couldn't go back past 2014, apparently.
Correct.
So I can't find the line item prior to that, because this was back, let's ask Tyler, that's what he came in 2005, so it hasn't been in the last 10 years that we've had it, but it was one of those things that they utilized pretty heavy in the beginning. Just, and it's the ability for people to get their feet wet and see, or, you know, the ability,
or not.
yeah, or not.
I would need, a request from you or Caitlin for, an amendment to the salary ordinance.
Yep.
Since it's part of the salary ordinance.
Yep.
Need it quickly, because
Yep.
we're getting ready to advertise for an amendment anyways.
It'd just be to add that position, and then obviously you would set the, council would set the pay rate.
I don't know
Then,
if we need to do that now until you come with a SOP and a,
I just wanted your ability, I guess, to work on it. I didn't wanna
something you,
do all that stuff with council.
something you're good with,
Absolutely.
something you're good with. That is?
Can I leave this time?
so this is a part-time position, no benefits, correct?
All drivers would be part-time, there'd be no benefits, and what I would do for this year's budget would just be pull some of my part-time in those few line items that I have, you know, pull a couple
I have a
grand.
question about
to-
that, legal question. If he calls somebody in for a part-time driver, is there a minimum that we have to pay them?
I believe so.
4 hours?
Minimum hour?
Huh?
You're talking about a minimum hour.
Yeah, not a minimum hourly rate. I'm talking about if someone gets called in from home.
So the way my on-call,
Guaranteed.
so the way my on-call is written is they get paid for a minimum of an hour if we call them in and they make it to
Oh.
station.
Yes, like if you do like
Okay.
a 5-minute run.
That's
They get paid for a minimum of an hour.
When you write your SOP, you make sure whatever he agrees to is.
That's what
I
our,
think that that's right. I don't know.
I will say that's how our on-call is written, is if they're toned in and they make it to station, that they are paid for like if they're only there for 30 minutes, they still get paid for a full hour.
Okay.
So I would assume that
That's
that's
only in that specific type of situation, right?
correct,
Okay.
yes.
But we're,
Otherwise, like if they're on the clock and they stay over a half hour, they only get paid for a half hour.
well, I'm talking about this driver position thing. If someone comes in and I mean, they're there for two hours doing something, you driving the ambulance or whatever, I mean, do they have a minimum of a certain amount, so just make sure in your SOP is
They'll get paid for the time that they're working.
Calling,
Okay.
you know, they're not gonna get a guaranteed, 4 hours or something.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Jeremy?
It's good to be in front of you guys when I'm actually working for you now this time. Pretty easy. I have a grant request. I am going to ask the Community Foundation for the rest of the money to get a drone. They started getting a little bit of money before I got here from the Duke Foundation. Will had written a grant and got that. Unfortunately, $2,750 is not enough to touch a drone with a thermal camera.
I thought we got a drone.
We do have one. It is.
Jeff got a grant for one.
They did. They got that Duke grant, but it's $2,750. About the cheapest one you're gonna find. It's $5,000.
So you're just asking for more?
Yeah, I'm just asking to get another, at least one more drone and upgrade the one we've got because it's pretty old. So that's what the funding is for.
Okay.
That way,
it's 100%?
It's 100% from the Community Foundation, no match. It's due at the end of April, I believe, so I've got some time to work on it.
How old is the drone?
I actually saw it for the first time today. It is one
You're
of
talking about the old one?
the old one.
Well, the old one was, remember when the Bear was running around Scott County, it was out then.
I was gonna say, it's at least 5-6 years old, which in technology terms, when it comes to the drones and the thermal imaging sensors that are on that camera, I asked Joe how it worked on the thermal side at night, and he goes, you can sometimes make out a body. So that with
I'm for it, I just wanted to know how the drone was.
training for that? Pilot?
yes and no. There's waivers that you can apply for a waiver. However, that waiver does not allow you to operate at night, which is some of the times we'd be operating. Whether it's be helping out the police after they were in a pursuit and took off through the woods on foot, checking areas around wrecks, daytime or nighttime, we can use that thermal. It'll also help with runaway kids, lost kids, 2-year-olds that sneak out, 11-year-old. We're on, Joe was there and I was on my way to Austin when that 11-year-old with Down syndrome left the house, and the conservation officer located him. He was getting ready to put that drone up. Unfortunately, like he said, that drone is not going to be much help in dense woods because of the old thermal sensor that's on it.
Okay.
So to upgrade it and to get another drone with the remaining funds of the $2,750 that are out there.
So this is to the Community Foundation?
Yes.
Scott County Community Foundation?
Yeah, for their public safety.
I'll entertain a motion if you guys don't have any more questions.
I'll make a motion for the grant request.
Okay.
Randy makes a motion to allow EMA to apply for a Scott County Community Foundation grant for $10,000 with no match.
This is just for applying for the grant.
That's
it's not
correct.
for the
Correct.
Purchase.
That's correct.
Correct. It's just a grant application.
Yeah, one comes before the
The
other.
county grant application to fill out the grant application.
Greg?
I'll say.
Greg seconds that, and I'll make that unanimous. So.
Just to kind of give you guys a heads up on where we're at, we've hired 2 new part-time people. We'll hire them with my permission. Right as I started, Monday was my first day. Was out on the interstate for 2 hours. I'm sure you guys saw all the pictures and videos and everything. We had a 200-gallon fuel spill. A lot of it burned up, but state police still wanted some remediation work done. All of that was passed on to IDIM and onto the transit trucking owner as well.
So the state will be repaving that road
here in the
Yeah,
near
that was-
future. So, because it is not going to last.
So, and I meant to say this when Nick was in here, but, you know, I wanted to thank all the first responders. I know there was a lot of chaos out there on Monday and on 65 and all going down, so I appreciate everybody who played a part in that. So.
I will say that, all the responding agencies did an amazing job, from the officers who helped shut down the roads so that we could get to the scenes, to the, to Monroe, to Scottsburg. We had our assistant chief on scene, down there, and, our chief was an Indian, Scottsburg's chief, I should say. I wasn't on the scene as a Scottsburg firefighter. I was on the scene as EMA, so, he was in Indianapolis worried about it, and I told him, I said, you guys did an amazing job. For, you know, with, the daytime, the staffing, as quick as those calls came out back to back, and Austin did an amazing job helping out as well, so. It's kinda good, with me being on Scottsburg and then Joe, my assistant EMA director, being on Austin as the chief of Austin.
Yes,
Please.
Yeah.
all right.
All right, so yeah, I've hit the ground running. I've called a couple of places to get some quotes on the phone system that I know you guys do. It's coming. Also have some people coming to talk about some CAD systems. Staff seems pretty glad we're updating the phones, and that's been the number one thing that they've asked me to do is get a new CAD system. I don't have the money for it, but I'm gonna figure it out. I'm not gonna come and say, hey guys, can I get this? I'm gonna find at least some money, and I'm gonna go the best way for the people. Looking at the lowest cost CAD I can get, which is still quality CAD, it's what the state police uses. It's distributed by IPSC, the Public Safety Commission, at an extremely discounted rate, and they maintain all of the hardware and server and backbone for that, so it takes a lot of stress off of our IT as well.
Thanks, Jim.
Just want to give you a heads up where that's going. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Before
Thank you,
leave,
sir.
I need that grant request, I'll bring it to council.
Okay, gotcha.
It'll be my reminder to get you on the agenda.
Yes, and thank you for texting me to get on that, because I completely forgot that, it's like, oh yeah, I do need that.
Okay.
All right, appreciate it. Thanks, Jeremy. Ladies,
Hello.
how are you doing?
Good, how are you guys?
All right.
Good.
What do
First
you
up
got?
is the health board appointment. So remember, you guys picked the mayor had to pick 3 names. Now you guys gotta pick from those 3 names, one person.
You sent them to us in an email, did you?
So
Yes, I did.
The 3 names that were submitted by, the mayor's office were, Shannon Mount, Kevin Better, and Brent Comer.
Come on.
And I'm gonna say what we normally do is to table it until we can think about it, talk about it, figure out who we want. And I say table, I mean, we're just gonna take it under advisement, so until somebody has an opportunity to be able to digest that, so. And that replaces who on your board?
That replaces Chris Marshall, who was just there for a few months to replace Ron West,
Yeah.
that stepped down.
Chris, yeah, I knew that.
Yeah, and Chris actually wanted to stay on, but with the new laws, he couldn't.
And I think so this is not finishing a term though, right?
It was, he was, this is a new term.
This is a new one, yeah.
This is a new one.
Yeah,
Correct.
the other one was
I think
Yeah,
that's
he was a renewal,
That's
this is.
probably best because we probably have to call it a new term anyways, just because of the
Yeah.
changes.
Okay, well, we'll take that part under advisement, or or table it, or whatever, is that fine with you?
Yes.
Yeah. Great. What else?
Okay,
Is
Susan.
this the big
Yeah, the
eclipse?
big-
Yes, yes. I'm sure everyone has heard about it. I have some maps for you guys. You can look at that way for you guys, if you guys want to click like them too. Scott County will be experiencing the eclipse on April the 8th. We will be getting approximately 90% totality that day. It's supposed to hit around 3 o'clock and last for about 4 minutes. Scottsburg and Austin is on an e-learning day, so that will cut back on student drivers and bus traffic and things like that. But mainly, the main concern is traffic and traffic control in Scott County. I know that all of the hotels in Scottsburg have been sold out for months, so we are definitely gonna have a big influx of visitors and things like that, so.
Yeah, well,
Just a little bit of, situational awareness of what's coming up.
I know, and I do know this from when, Jeff Fortner was still the EMA director, that he was going to those seminars, those classes, and everybody, those meetings where people were talking about it, so I don't, is there anything that he has with your group that?
There's nothing that I have been given any access to or seen in the office. I spent a lot of time in the office looking through a lot of the current files.
You might give it Joe, cause I think Joe might have been involved in some of that stuff, 'cause it was
I
last.
haven't had a chance to talk with Joe about it.
We, actually tomorrow morning at the EOC at 10 o'clock? I believe it's 10 o'clock. Did you guys get the email for that? Adam Reef from Indiana Department of Homeland Security is coming to actually do a tabletop with us to kind of give us an idea of what to get ready for. So I'm kind of excited to learn and see what he has to bring to the table. It's definitely gonna help us.
Make sure.
Yeah, I've already
Yes.
been, so.
That's the email I sent from Will, I think. right?
Yes, yeah. He's gonna give us an idea of ways to help direct things and stuff
So
like
this is
that.
gonna be like the Kentucky Derby twice. It's gonna be the
Yes.
fastest
Yes.
2 miles.
Yes.
And then everybody's gonna be gone.
It'll be done, 4 minutes, yes.
That's what everybody thinks, but with all the extra people, I mean, you're looking at traffic, you're looking at extra overdoses, you're looking at, they said the
Crime.
the crime,
Yes.
the suicide rate goes way up when there's an eclipse. So those are things that I never thought about before until we started doing some of these things, so it's just,
It is,
We
it's
gotta be
amazing how
prepared.
many people be going down the road and just stop and start.
yes, and they
Yes.
say like visibility is gonna be bad the 20 minutes before and the 20 minutes after.
Kinda
So
like
people
the
are gonna be
Monday.
driving and be kind of disoriented, so then you're gonna have
Yes, Monday all
accidents.
over.
And so many
Times
people
10.
on the sides of the road, can EMS get to them or get to the hospitals? We need alternate routes for that.
Yes.
Communications is gonna be bad,
Mhm.
Well, the
so,
other part of that, we have an interstate system that runs through here that has thousands of vehicles going on at any.
Yes.
And as happened Monday, somebody stops, somebody runs into them, and then it just is a chain reaction,
Mhm.
so.
Yes.
Well, keep us up on what you're doing
Okay.
and get, we'll get Jeremy involved on his side and make sure that they have a plan for.
Yes.
yeah,
the
Will's
police.
been working on it for
Yeah.
a
Yes.
while
Well, I
now
knew
with
they all have, so.
Susan, so yeah, he's been doing a good
So,
job.
we just need to do the best we can, I mean,
That's
it's-
all.
the influx of people would be nice, I mean, as
Yeah.
long as they're spending money and doing stuff.
Should help our innkeeper's tax and should also help our local income tax.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about.
Anyway, I think that's a great thing, and from my understanding, this is the last time I'll probably get to see this one.
Yeah, 2099 is the next one.
Yeah, it won't be
Yes.
around. So,
Yeah.
Randy will though.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks, Susan.
Someone digs me up.
Yes.
You're welcome. I'm excited and looking forward to it.
Well,
So.
again, it's gonna take everybody.
Yeah.
Cause like you said, I mean, everything increases, traffic flow and everything else.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting. right?
Yes.
Of course, when we went from 1999 to 2000, they acted like it was gonna fall apart and
Yes.
nothing happened.
Yeah.
I would like for nothing to happen,
Yes.
but we'll be prepared.
Yeah. What is it they say?
All right.
Prepare for the worst and hope for the best.
That's exactly
Yes.
right.
All right, thank you, guys.
So, we'll have that for
Okay.
you at the
Thank
next
you.
one. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Kevin, man, I don't know what you did to get down the line there.
Sign up, I guess.
That was kind of the point.
I know. You gotta remind me, so. Okay, first thing is, we're gonna have another detour, State Road 362, it's gonna be shut down between, March the 7th, 2024 to July the 31st, 2024. They're doing a bridge deck overlay, so.
That's hot off the press.
Yes, I know, yeah, that's hot off the press. So anyway, it'll affect the county like this. So the unofficial detour will be Goodman Road to Tank Pond Road to Bethlehem Road, back to South Concord and to 362.
So are we between
Making the
203 and Concord?
Yeah, it would make the square. You would turn on, let's see, you would turn on kind of wrote backwards. You would turn on Concord
Yeah,
and then go down to Bethlehem
is that,
and then go down to St.
would you go
Barnabas.
through the new bridge that we just built?
No. I mean, you took the long way to get.
Yes, you did, yeah.
They'll go buy it
There you go.
for what it's worth.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, that's all it'll do to affect us.
To July 1?
July
31.
31st, yeah. So anyway, we
Okay.
agree upon,
I guess, yeah. So we have to approve this
unofficial detour,
unofficial
your
teacher, yeah.
local stake.
Now, I guess, I don't know how much, I've traveled that road a lot, I mean, there's not a whole lot of semi-traffic out there.
There's not.
So we probably won't have a lot of damage.
A lot of your semi-traffic is agriculture, so they kind of navigate a lot better on country roads than, interstate drivers, so
Okay.
I don't think that'd be a big
I'll make a
issue.
motion.
I'll entertain a motion, Randy made a motion to accept the unofficial detour for, 362, for, what I say the dates were, March 7th through July the 31st, so. Randy made the motion, Greg.
I'll say.
Greg seconds that, I'll make that unanimous, so. Go your way first. What else you got?
Alright, next thing, just be an update on, Bridge 105. They just poured the approach on the south side, so, talked to KLB earlier today, looks like, they're hoping to pave the approaches next week. Looks like we'll have like 3 70-degree days or something next week, so the weather's pretty promising.
Is that all for that, just with the approach work, so?
Yeah, get the approach work done, and then they'll have a little bit of guardrail to do on the south side where they put the approach in. And text Andrew a while ago, and our Veterans Memorial sign should be in within the next couple of weeks. So I think that job will be getting really close. We may leave it close a little bit longer to put the rock shoulders on, but it's right there. I mean, it's
So is the guardrail going to be on the approaches too, especially on the north end?
it's just more on the south end,
Really?
especially on I guess it'd be west side, right there where the big ditch is, right there. It runs, how many feet, maybe 60, 70 feet off that right there. So I wanted to do bare minimum guardrail that we had to do because it's expensive to replace. The less we could do, the better. So anyway, 105 is looking good.
Good deal.
It's on budget, so
That's even better.
even better. Okay, ADA stuff. So, on the ADA stuff, the county's gotta be compliant for us to qualify for the county highway to qualify for different funding, as well as I'm sure other departments it affects too. But, we looked at a couple of different consultants on helping the county to get back compliant with this. USI came in, with the project fee of $31,000. And then Fleek Engineering, contact Greg New, they come in around 27,000. I guess really this would be kind of a two-part. One, we'd have to figure out, where the money's gonna come from for this project. It isn't necessarily a county highway thing as much as it is a county thing, I think, so. Anyway, we can digest that, but there's some numbers there. I don't think it has to be done tonight, but those are some numbers we're looking at.
So is there a list of stuff that somebody's saying is not compliant?
Well, I don't know about a particular list, but
It's an updated
Indianapolis
plan.
says, our updated plan is non-compliant, not necessarily a list of things besides, it's just not compliant.
Right, so.
If that makes sense.
So if we had an inspection and somebody came in and said, okay, you were non-compliant before without an inspection, now you have an inspection and we're gonna deem you compliant because, this building wasn't built without,
So-
those factors.
Greg might be able to correct me a little bit if I'm wrong, but it's more of a plan
Yeah.
than it is an action. like maybe you walk in a highway building, you're like, that door isn't, ADA compliant. Well, if we had an ADA person that needed to work there, we would have to have a plan to be able to compensate that person, accommodate that person. It's more of a plan than it is an action, from my understanding.
Yeah.
And a little green on it, but just from the research I've done on it.
Okay.
So, and that's, I guess all county-owned buildings and properties.
But you're saying we have to have, even apply for any type of federal, and probably in the future is some state grants.
That's right.
It's required on
All these
CCNG.
engineers out there shaking their
There's an
heads.
area that you say, that you put I am compliant and I'll be compliant with ADA and Title VI.
So,
Same way with federal funding, you're agreeing that you'll be compliant, kind of hold your hand to it, so to speak, because if you want the money, you gotta,
yeah.
Well, I get that.
get it lined up.
Yeah, I guess we should have been there anyway.
Well,
And it has
there's
been in the
some
past, I
time.
think, it's
Yeah.
just,
But now you've got new people, running departments now, they're just going and looking and seeing who's not compliant and who hasn't submitted these updated plans, and, Kevin's right, until we get that turned in, it won't affect us, this year. But moving forward through community crossing grants, we have to have an ADA plan and Title VI, all of those requirements we have to have submitted. It's a lot of money, but every county and city, municipalities, they're all bound to do it. So, there's no getting out of it if we want to continue to participate in community crossings.
With that, I think that'd be a good idea.
$27,000 for the lowest one here, 31 for USI. What are we getting for the money that they're quoting something?
So I think probably the best way to look at it is, this is a, like Unite or USI, I'm sorry, this is a not to exceed. So they're charging an hourly rate on what they get into with the not to exceed 31,000. So they broke that, they break down, prep work, project setup, research coordination with NDOT, field work, set up template, write report, develop tables. I'll let you go through this if you want, because it's a long list,
I guess to cut to the quick is, are they, when they're done, there'll be a report to send to the state?
Absolutely.
Yeah, there'll be
And that's
a
where I'm
and I'll
getting-
tell you what I'll do tomorrow is, Jennifer sent me, one that she found that's kind of out of date. I'll send that to you so you can get a look on what it looked like once upon a time.
But again, the money that we're gonna spend, we're
Yes.
gonna be ADA compliant as long as we structurally have stuff ready.
It's an assessment. They're gonna get the paperwork ready to send, that's gonna get us in compliance.
Okay, that's where I'm getting at. I didn't know if these were, well, here's what we found, and now you do spend money with somebody else to write the report or whatever.
Right.
Did I happen to send you an example of one, or maybe not?
No, but I do have an old one that we had here.
Okay. I can send an example of one from a different
That's
county.
compliant, or we know that's compliant. That'd be all right.
Well,
We could get it.
it'd be an older example that I can,
But the one I seen, it had a
for
lot
reference.
of pictures and details, and there's a lot to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's expensive, and, I can tell you, our consultant friends will tell you that too. There's not a lot of value in the consultant world doing these things, and so, there's high overhead, and the costs are expensive, so, it is what it is. And I think the prices that we've got here is as cheap as we'll get it. We're using one firm compared to a private guy working on one, so.
Well, again, it sounds to me like it's something we need to be able to, in the future, get a community crossing grant from the state. So I believe that it's something, we're gonna have to find the money, whether it's, one account or the other, or, but I guess we can, I guess the secondary company here, before I say what I was gonna say, the secondary company here, is that is their price up to, not to exceed, or is that their price?
I believe that's up to you. I looked at that earlier. Let's see. Not to exceed the price. Hourly rate, $150 per hour, not to exceed fee limit of 27,000.
Okay.
And there's a possibility it could come in a little cheaper, depending on, how many times they have to run.
Like I said, we don't have to pull the trigger on it tonight. We needed to get it out there and look at it and need to do it soon.
Actually,
I don't
we'll
think,
have, we'll have another meeting before the council has a meeting, so we can
Yeah,
digest a little bit.
that'd be fine if you wanna.
And then
I'll just kinda send this stuff to you on the email
Put
if
it
you
back.
want to look it over and.
get back on the
See
agenda.
where we're
and
at.
maybe Get in on earlier. And, and then we can,
I don't, yeah, I just wanted to get it out there tonight, cause it's, a lot of money's gotta come from somewhere, so.
I mean, one of the council members is here tonight and he can
Yeah,
digest it a little bit as well, but, so.
kinda, we at least know about what it's gonna be. We have two prices, so we know about where we're at.
And actually, the thing that is gonna push me to approve it, I mean, on my end or our end, is that we can't get community crossing grants and we can't do anything else, so.
Yeah, and plus, I mean, we're talking, actually, it's even this year, we're looking at $3.5 million. We're looking at, we applied for $5 million worth of, $5 million worth of money, and we're talking about, $30,000, so.
Yeah.
It's not much.
I think you guys are around, we're not the only place that's having to deal with this, right?
No, it is, and it should be good for your whole county, like, this assessment should look at your courthouse, your sheriff's department, your library, I mean, everything. So anyone in your county applying for federal or state funds would need ADA Title VI report.
Okay.
Credentials.
That's good.
And they're giving you 500,000 more reasons to get compliant now than you can as well. So
Yeah.
that's certainly.
What else you got?
Next thing I got is our wash bay building. So, I took some quotes for putting up the structure as far as the poles, trusses, and getting the metal on. Because I just ordered 40 culverts that we need to put in before any kind of work we get on grant, so we're fixing to get busy. I took 3 quotes, the 3 that I got, one of our consultants was kinda, talked to using in other counties and other businesses, just to erect them, so one of them.
And this is the project that you.
The wash.
Kinda already had approved.
Yeah,
in the future.
yeah, it's approved,
We just haven't ever.
we have everything there to do it with, and, I was really hoping for us to put it up, but, we'll finish the concrete with all the wiring in, but we can do that on rain days, and there's no hurry to get it done, but the actual structure, I don't wanna get half up, and then, the county goes on 3-day, 4-day, holiday, and a 60-mile-an-hour wind comes and twists it into a circle, and we start over. Anyway, these guys put it up in 2 days. It's their business, but, I got one price here from, Marvin Byler, which was, recommended by, Lindsay, one of the guys they use.
So is this money additional to what you'd already been?
No, oh yeah, I gotta show you that. It's money
This
though.
is out of your auction fund.
Out of the auction
So
fund.
you had the money.
Yeah, I have the money. This shows you what we spent out of the auction fund and when we spent it, and then the back page shows you what's left in the auction fund right now that I got.
Oh, yeah.
And this,
That's the one you want.
yeah, Elmer is owner of like Ace Metals out of New Wash. They're a pretty big outfit. This is another guy that's worked some county level stuff.
Give them all those.
They're all pretty close. And they all come with recommendations.
It's all the same structure.
It's the same structure, yeah. Put the metal, poles, boards, metal, all the same structure.
So do we need to read these if they're close?
Yes. Is this for I mean, what's the,
This is-
what's the amount?
It's under 25,000.
But it's a public, you're building a building?
Yeah.
This is something they approved last year.
All the materials lying there, we're just looking to get constructed.
Alright, so you're saying I need to read all three quotes?
Yes.
Alright, these quotes are for a pole barn structure, 50 by 120 by 15 foot. Actually, that one says 15, this one says 14, this one don't say anything, so is it?
Yeah, it's 14 foot
It's
each,
14.
so, yeah.
Okay. This barn was approved last year, and, he's just now getting, I guess the reasoning being is that our people are busy and can't put it up now, so.
So this is for less than $25,000?
Yes.
Yeah.
So anyway, the first bid here is from, Marvin Byler, for frame and metal labor for $18,000. This one here is from Harvey Wiki Construction, for $19,500. And the last one is from Elmer, is it Ecker?
Ecker, I think so you pronounce it.
Construction, for $21,500, so. Which one, actually,
The cheapest one come a good reference, and
I'd say the cheapest one.
Marvin's son done a bunch of framing for Lindsay's. They're in the business of it.
Now, what your suggestion is, Randy?
Yeah.
Go with Greg's?
Low bid.
Low bid. Consensus.
Good to me.
What else you got?
Oh, this is kind of information. So I guess the OTA is, we're doing, they're gonna offer CDL training classes in June. So I got the county highway signed up, and how that's gonna work is, it's called Train the Trainer. So I got one guy that volunteered, and I'll probably take the class myself. So Purdue has a portal set up that you could hire an employee, they could come in and take their CDL training, the computer work and classes on that, and then we would be trained to take them out in the truck, get them ready to go take their state test. So it puts us back in the ability to be able to hire somebody without a CDL, train them for a CDL, which opens the market up for hiring a lot, because right now we're restricted to CDL because they changed the laws where we can't train. So just kind of fixing that problem. We're signed up for it. June's our next classes. We gotta go to Purdue for a couple of days, take some online classes, but it didn't sound too bad. So I'll figure out more as it comes closer.
Who you got picked to be?
Johnny White volunteers for it. I think he'll be good at it.
He actually went through.
He went through the class, so he kind of went, through the whole ordeal to get his A's. He upgraded from a B to an A and applied for a grant and got it. And he was
Still
able
have
to-
your CDL?
Then, the only other thing, and this is kind of down the road, I just kind of want to bring it up because I've been talking to some people about it. One piece of equipment that, we was talking to the mechanics that we think we could stretch to open up the ability, maybe just buy different stuff later on down the road, was the dump trucks. Because we got kind of like 3 primary trucks that really get used, and some secondary trucks, and then the third trucks are really if you're hauling asphalt or you're pushing snow. But there's gonna be some trucks come up in September, one truck in particular, from NDOT, that's gonna go to the 210 auction. Like it's 65-311, it's out of Scottsburg, it's a tandem, it's got a stainless steel bed, and it's live bed, so it's chained in the bed. It's a 100,000 mile truck, and I talked to their ops manager. He was talking to the fleet manager, and they're going somewhere between 12 and 20,000 at their 210 auctions. you know, if we can get budgeted for one of those trucks, I mean, we could use it for a couple of years and I could probably make a profit on it. I'd go deals compared to what they're selling for there. So that'll be down the road, but it's just something to look at.
Well, I think we need a tandem.
Yeah, well, I think we could stretch the back end of those trucks out because new trucks are up. Well, they went up. I think they're roughly 150 to 170,000, whatever it is you get on them, you know. But you're talking about a major purchase. We got 12, 13 of
You can get
them,
one.
so over $1 million worth of them.
You can get one that's supposed to be in maintenance pretty good, and
Yeah, I mean, they're on the end of their service life. They're, you know, they're 2008, they're a 100,000 mile truck. I'm not saying it needs to be the front runner truck, but it's a truck that, you know, you're just hauling asphalt with, or maybe just pushing snow with or something. You know, you use it for a couple of years, you're like, hey, this truck's about done. Sell it and you probably get the same amount of money out of it. Or in all reality, as long as the motor and transmission's there. I mean, I think it'd be a good thing to start looking at. We kinda got the insight to say, don't buy that truck, or hey, buy that truck.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, because they had 3 of them coming up, and 2 of them I know for a fact we don't want, and 1 of them would be good, so. Anyway, that's just something we're looking at.
when is that auction?
September is the next 210. Used to, I guess, the county, and I need to check into this a little further, they could call up and be like, hey, I'd like to buy that truck, and then we could get first dibs, and somebody up in Indy gave us a price. From what I was told, they kinda done away with that, we gotta buy it in live auction, which could be good or be bad, I'm not sure which.
That's what I.
Sometimes might be better,
It could be,
depends on who
just
shows up.
just depends who wants it. Alright, I'm done.
Alright, thank you.
Thanks, Kevin.
Thank you, Kevin.
Oh, Kevin, I tried your portal
Yes,
the
I
other
got
day, and I did get, customer service ticket back, so
Yeah.
it seems like it's working, so.
I didn't see your email, so I'm gonna have to check it now. I'll show you that next time. We have a little more training by it.
Yeah.
All right, the next thing up here is consideration of the board members.
See if-
Board appointments that we pushed off and pushed off and pushed off, and a lot of that problem has been me. I think most of these are gonna stay the same, and I guess I'm gonna just go down through here and read off what we have and what we have open, and, if someone has a person that, you know, we need to put in an open position, then we'll do it, so. The Alcoholic Beverage Board, it is actually it doesn't even say here, but I think it's isn't that a 4-year time? I'm thinking it was, but anyway, we're gonna leave Gary Hubbard in that position.
Gary's not on there.
Oh, that's,
That's Gary McClellan.
Gary McClellan, that's right, it's not Hubbard. And he just went on the board, so that's not even up.
No.
Yeah, we need to change that.
I'll get that corrected.
Moving along, the Area Planning Commission, we have 3 appointments on that board, and one is a commissioner, which is me, and Steve Harold and John Hauser, which are 1-year appointments, so. I'm just gonna read through here, and then if we have something, and at the end, we'll just approve them, or if you got somebody you don't want on, or wanna change, or do something, let's do it at that times. Board of Zoning Appeals, which is BZA, Gary Green, Jared Solian, and, there was a person that dropped off there. Does somebody have a person they wanna put in that position?
I'd like to nominate Jim Roberts for that position.
Jim Roberts, so, Randy, you got anything with that?
No, it's fine.
Alright, we'll move on here. Scott County Economic Development, which is not a board that exists, but I'm technically on that board. Civil Defense, Emergency Management, it's Randy Julian. Community Corrections Advisory, there is a list, and we are officially updated on that list, and those are, we're gonna renew those. Community Foundation Little League Leadership is Gene Robbins, and that's a 2-year position, which is not up. County Health Insurance Committee, that's myself again. County Safety Officers is actually Jennifer and Deandra. Drainage Board is Edward Hunley, Randy Julian, and Billy Comer, and that is a 3-year term, which I think will be up at the end of this year. Drainage Board is John Donahue and John Abbott, which are 3-year terms, and they're not up. EMS Oversight Committee is Gene Robbins, and that's a year. The HIPAA officers are again Jennifer and Deandra. Library Trustee is, our appointment's Carol Deaton, and that is a 4-year term, and it's not up. Library Trustee Flossie McGann, is a 4-year term as well, and that's not up. It will be at the end of this year.
Are the Drainage Board appointments, are they up this year?
No.
The appointment occurred in 1/20 of 2021.
So that would be the end of this year.
End of this year.
2023, 2024.
Would be the last year of their 3-year.
Okay.
You okay with that?
Yep.
Okay. Ohio Valley Opportunities, Anthony Peacock, that's a 2-year term, and he's still there. Personnel Committee is Greg Prince. Public Defender Board is Kristen Evans, and that is a 3-year term as well, up at the end of this year. River Hills Economic Development is Greg Prince and Steve Meyer. Scott County Economic Development is, and this is ATA Bonds, it's a 1-year, and James Lee Craig is still there. Scott County Partnership is Gene Robbins. Scott County Redevelopment is Bill Graham, Greg Prince, and Brad Stotts, and that's a year. Southeast Recycling District is Greg Prince. Tourism Board Visitors Commission, we had a person that has officially resigned, and we have an opening there for a 2-year term, so.
And would that be Don Cooper?
Yes.
Okay. So we would actually be appointing somebody to fill the end of this term, so for 1 year.
Yes, till the end of 25.
Yes.
So has anybody got a person for that role? Fred?
We did,
Oh, I wrote the name down here, but is that it?
David Coates.
David Coates, yeah, that's who I had wrote down, so. And we'll approve this at the end here. Tourism Board Visitors Commission, there's Joe Gibson, Jessica Collier, Brandy, is it Renault? Those are 2-year positions, and they'll be replaced at the end of 25. Workforce 1 is myself. Sheared Citizens Advisory Board is Steve Ploss, Mariah Campbell. 1 Southern RDA is Steve Myers, and that is a 4-year term. And Scott County Health Officers, which is what we tabled tonight for our next meeting, and
I think the health officer,
it's
I
the
thought we
city's.
did the appointment last year.
This is the city, because the health
The health officer is Dr.
it's not, he's not, oh, the health officer, that's right, it's a 4-year term, and you're right, it renewed, actually 2019, and it's a 4-year term, so it would end up, at the end of last year, we re-nominated him.
We did re-nominate.
The health board, I'm sorry, the health board, the city has appointments this year, and the reason being is that we, got in a program with the state of Indiana where, we're gonna receive, about $700,000 by going with this program, and in turn, the city gets a person for their, because of the way it's structured now, so. The next thing is the Noxious Weed Board. It has Robbie Combs, John Harden, Bill Comer, Kevin Hall, and Tom Springston. It's a 4-year term, and they started in 2023, so that's not up. And then there is the Scottsburg Area Plan Buffer Citizen member that I guess the commissioners have 2 people on there, and And, and that person, one of those people are Todd Ritchie and the other one's Brad Stotts, so, and that's a 4-year term, so. And that is, I didn't see a start date on that,
I
so.
hate to bring this up, but there was a notification that the 2 individuals that were appointed to those positions were of the same political party. Did everybody?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I guess my question there is, cause one of these guys we had appointed and the other one, was appointed, so I guess my question here is, I don't know how we're going to determine, you know, who's there and who's not there, so. And I'm gonna go back and let's approve the rest of this with that, you know, taking out the health board, because we're going to table that and also table the Scottsburg area plan. So right now, they would stay in that position until our next meeting and determine what, since we just got an email today pretty much stating what,
Yeah, I mean, the state code is basically that when the municipal plan commission exercises jurisdiction outside the incorporated area of the municipality, the executive of the county in which the unincorporated area is located shall appoint 2 additional citizen members to the municipal plan commission. The citizen members must be 1, residents of the unincorporated area or the county, and must also be owners of real property located in whole or in part within the unincorporated area, and 2, not be of the same political party. However, at least one of the members must be a resident of the unincorporated area. So I think it's that.
well, I know Greg's talking about Scott County Redevelopment Commission, and I think we're gonna just, in my opinion, I mean, we just leave it like it is, and when there's, you know, something going on there, we need to adjust that, unless you got somebody you wanna put in that position. Cause I'm open to anything. Greg? If you wanna make that change, let's go ahead.
Yeah, I'd like to make the change, from, we don't have, let's see. Actually, if you go through 24.
1-year appointments, they're, yeah, each appointment's on, I think the one you're talking about is each year. It's a 1-year appointment. At the, yes, that's correct. So you're not replacing someone, you're appointing someone to a board that the other person's time has expired. Yeah.
And so, you know, a lot of these boards, I like to try to bring in new folks and give everybody a chance to serve and so Bill's term coming, with his expiring, at the end of last year, I'd like to nominate Joe Baker, to the redevelopment board.
Okay. All right, so let me recap this. We are going to, I'm gonna entertain a motion to, approve the people that we have said, and I'll go back and say it, for the Scott County BZA, we would be adding Jim Roberts, for county safety officer, and the HIPAA officer would be adding Deandra. For the Scott County Redevelopment Commission, we'd be adding Jill Baker. For Tourism Board and Visitors Commission, we'd be adding David Coates. And we would not be approving tonight the Board of Health, Scott County Board of Health, appointment for the Scottsburg Area Planning Commission appointments, so I'll entertain a motion to pass the rest of them.
I'll make that motion.
Brandy makes a motion to, pass all the board appointments except for the Health Department's appointment and Scottsburg Area Planning appointments, so.
Second.
Greg seconds that, and I'll make that unanimous, so. Moving along, surplus equipment removal, and, is that something, Randy, you were talking about with the John Jones building and all the,
Yes, we
all the
have,
stuff that's in there?
we're housing a bunch of equipment and it's, honestly, it's not worth nothing. It's all piled up in a great big pile in the corner of the building. Since I've been in office, that pile has just been sitting there. And also it's old, outdated, electronics that's old printers, stuff like that's no longer even working. The desk and tables that are, got screws out of them falling apart and,
So it's nothing we can,
you know, from the sixties.
that we cannot, you know, get something out like Nick said, get something out if you did something, or is there an organization out there that we can say, hey, if you want this, you can, here it is, come get it?
We could do that, or,
And do we need to do an inventory like we?
You do need to do an inventory to dispose of what's considered like worthless property. You have to have a determination that the property individually is less than the value of what it would cost to transport and sell the property. If that is the case, then you may junk or demolish the property. But you would need to inventory the list of items that you're proposing to junk or demolish.
Destroy or get rid of. Well, and the thing about it is, I just don't want the optics of somebody thinking, oh, you got a warehouse full of stuff, I mean, it's a bay of stuff, or a couple of bays of stuff, and say, we're gonna get rid of it, and it's all junk, I mean,
And the provisions for that are in kind of the public purchasing laws, but it's in the disposition of real or personal property owned by the county. It sets thresholds, just like the purchasing does, for when you have to start doing things for certain types of sales, but it also has a provision that deals with like worthless property.
so we need to appoint somebody to go out there and do the inventory. And I'd probably make the suggestion that Andrew Campbell talk to him and see if he can't do it, because, I mean, our other runner-up would be Eric, but Eric's not gonna know anything about the old printer technology and stuff like that that
Yeah.
anybody use.
I don't know if any of that stuff's got any value or not.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I can go out and help write stuff down or whatever he tells us we have, I mean, so we can determine if it's valuable or not valuable or whatever, so. But yeah, let's get that done, and I know you've got, Greg's wanting to find a space out there, and I'm gonna just tell you, there is a space out there, so I mean, just tell him to bring him and we'll put him in a room out there somewhere. He's got some, charging stations.
There's other rules, I forgot, there's other rules for recycling things, if they can be used, if the component parts can be used for, so.
Well, I'd say any of the electronics, like Randy's saying, if Andrew thinks there's some sort of monetary value to it, then, you know, we can put it on auction or something and try to see what we get. If not, And we tried and there wasn't any value to it, so. Alright, consideration of the Baker Tilly TIF Management Service Engagement Letter. That was a mouthful.
It sure is.
Speaking while he's reading that, I mean, has the Verizon guy called back?
Oh my gosh, he did. Yeah, I was supposed to call him back and I got sidetracked and did not do it. I will call him in the morning. He did call today though.
Okay. Well, when you talk to him, send him my way after you talk to him, 'cause I.
Okay. And, Abby, that was out there with you, she asked if there were any, I think it were permits. I got an email. Were you copied on that email by asking if there were permits for that?
I don't remember. I talked to her out there and what she was doing was an environmental,
Yes.
study that she says has to happen every 180 days, to keep that permit viable with the FCC.
Okay. I will, I'll find that email and send it to you, but I'm not aware of anything in my office that shows anything like that.
Anyway, we need to have them build the tower or just tell them, I guess we're gonna back out of the agreement, but they need to, I mean, it's been 4 years or better. I mean, they need to step up and do it or not do it. As Randy said, just tell them another company's gonna do it. Is this letter, this engagement letter is this something that's existing and we're just renewing something?
Yes, it is. It's for our TIFs. They
Okay.
calculate it. In fact, on that, there's even some talk about when they wanna meet with redevelopment, kinda like they came in last year and talked about the reorganization of the board and how to do that. I don't know if you're interested in that again or not.
Yeah, at some point, yeah. I mean, it's been over a year now,
So I'll entertain a motion, let's see if there's any price or any adjustments in what they're charging us or not charging us.
They have an hourly
All right, here it is.
scale.
Well, I don't know what it was before, but it says standard hourly rates by job classification for 12/1/2023, so, looks like partners or principals or directors is $400 to $600 rate, managers, senior managers, $275 to $400 rate, consultants, analysts and senior consultants, $175 to $275, and support, paraprofessionals or interns, $110 to $175. Building procedures normally will receive a monthly statement showing fees and costs incurred in the prior monthly, so this is a renewal of a TIF management company that we're using with, looks like Baker Tilly. So I'll entertain a motion to accept the contract again for the TIF management.
I'll make a motion.
Randy makes a motion, Greg?
I'll second.
Greg seconds that, I'll make that unanimous, so.
It's something we use, but it's something we don't use a lot, but I mean, it's.
When we need it, we need it,
they're-
yeah.
They're very critical for us.
So, moving on, consideration of regular special invoices. Do you have any
Ooh, I have any
claims?
invoices as well. She didn't give me those, do you have any? No.
She usually mails them to us, but I didn't see them either.
Okay, there may not be any.
That's back to
I
her.
think it'll be next meeting.
Okay, I think it'll be the next
We'll
one.
just table
And
that.
I hate
for
to
the
say
next one.
Trina was sick today. I do not have the payroll claims as well.
You got minutes?
No.
No
I think
minutes?
it's supposed to either. We struck out today, so.
Well, I guess we're gonna table the invoices, I think for sure. Consideration of payroll, that, I don't know, can we table that?
I mean, I would not table the entire payroll approval.
Well, we don't have.
We don't
The
have
thing is,
a-
it didn't
Girl
get
was
passed
sick
to
today,
me,
she
yeah.
didn't put it out.
Okay.
And we're gonna run into the same problem we ran into the last time, so if we just say we're gonna approve it.
I mean, don't we have to kinda approve payroll anyway?
Yes.
So,
Well, what was the terminology we used in the special meeting we had last week when we said we approve all payroll except line item, anything that's on a line
There were
item?
specific line items that were identified
You
because
have those?
there's not a sufficient balance to cover
It's
the
the,
amounts.
I can go
it's the
your
part-time,
part-times,
it's the part-time deputies.
but I don't know if there's,
I'll go look and see if she's got, I don't think she's got it done.
that's what I'm thinking, I think they are.
No, I mean,
think they're done.
I think we can approve it.
we can approve the payroll. as
Just
long as
need
we're
to
done.
not be the same line items you didn't approve last
That's
time.
Right.
correct.
Do you want me to get that off? I think.
With the exception of.
That way you can make sure everybody gets their check. Kevin likes it.
While we're doing that, we'll just move on. Consideration of the minutes, what did she say?
Let me go see if I can find it. The lines that run
Alright, while we're waiting, you guys got anything else that you wanna bring up, talk about? Spring about?
Hey Mike, I got some. Eric called me today about the cupola around the roof.
Oh,
I think he sent you some pictures.
He didn't send
About
me, he didn't send me any
The
pictures.
cupola up
Oh,
on top of the roof, it's leaking,
Yeah,
the windows all around it. You know, they got a couple leaks, he said, and Royalty went up there and sent him some pictures that, I think Eric was under the impression it was getting ready to fall off, but, so I came up, me and Eric went up there and looked at it. I guess I can't get my pictures to send in here, but I'll send them to you later. Your windows are pretty well rotted out all the way around the cupola on top. I told Eric, we did with you guys, my advice would be probably call Strasburg last time, go over and look and see if it's flat with aluminum all on the outside, it looks like all the caulking's cracked loose, and it's leaking pretty good around it over the years. So there's a galvanized flashing pan underneath the windows, which probably saved you a lot from it rotting, but.
So,
It's not really, the pictures he had, and I think the impression he got from them, and it was getting ready to fall off. That's not the case. It's not the
actually,
case.
he did show me those pictures and I told him to call you.
Yeah,
And I said, can you have Kevin go look at it and make, so.
yeah, the pictures made it look worse than what it was.
as somebody who has been up there and stood on that, make sure that whoever you call understands that they're gonna have to have harness and, cause that roofing is slick.
Yeah, I think that would be the costly thing, is cause where it's at for sure.
Yeah,
So is that a Scottsburg Glass thing, you think?
that's what I'm
Or is that,
wondering
or is that a
about.
general contractor that?
I mean, I guess maybe I'd call them and ask them if it's their thing. I feel like it's their thing, because it's the windows, it's leaking, you know.
It's a window encasement.
I would probably advise, like, if they gave you an estimate to add 30% to it, because it's gonna be one of the deals, they're gonna pull it out, and they're gonna call you and be like, oh, I found the sheeting behind it's wet, it's rotted, or I found this is rotted. So I would take whatever bid you get. That's pretty lighthearted, you know, or at least, you know, consider there's probably gonna be a change order to it when they get in there, take the window out and find out what they're looking at. But
Alright.
it ain't about ready to fall out or anything, but definitely needs attention.
I'll send Eric a message tomorrow to call Scottsburg Glass and see,
I'd start there.
get on
See
the
what they
books and
say.
see what they say.
Yeah. Yeah, they might not,
They might not want
It's
to.
a tough spot. I mean,
it is, I mean,
there isn't gonna be a hope, well, I mean, unless they charge a lot of money, just because of where it's at. It's gonna be tough.
it is, it's very,
I wouldn't do it, so.
I won't want that.
I'm not getting up there.
I mean, yeah, I went across there, it's slick.
Yeah, it's a tough spot.
So, not me.
I'll send you
So,
the pictures. of it.
Greg, do you have anything?
I don't.
Do you have anything? Jennifer? So do you have that?
Line item number?
I do.
We are kind of looking at that. Do you
I
have-
can kind of fill the gap.
There you go.
So, I do have a couple things. I have a draft of, I guess I would call it a notice and order under the unsafe building laws and the unsafe building regulations in the county for certain property that's been identified by the health department. I'd like to get that on the agenda for next meeting. I also wanted to let you all know that, thankfully, I did get eventually in contact with someone from Stryker. They were able to get me to the sales division, and they have agreed to waive that, late fee.
Good deal. $7,000.
And I believe I sent the updated invoice, and I think that that's in the process of.
I am not sure if that went on Friday,
Okay.
I'm thinking.
That's good.
And then, I had something else that I just forgot about. Commercial property inspection for the Scottsburg City Building. I have asked for essentially a quote on a professional services contract with an entity that will assist us with doing the inspections required prior to closing. What is the?
Right.
Yeah, I wanted to know the total amount, or do you know that?
It was 3,100 or something like that. You sent it.
But I just wanted the kind of go-ahead authority to, $3,055, that does not include, so this would be additional $185 in termite testing, $350 in radon testing, and sewer scopes for $350 for each additional accessible clean out, and a clean out cost of $275. So those would be additional. Basically, I would just ask for the authority to go ahead and enter into a services agreement with that entity and use that out of the professional services line item for ARPA.
I'm gonna ask for, I'm wondering here, I'm gonna ask for an amendment to the agenda for approving our inspection for our possible purchase of property.
I'll make a motion to amend the agenda.
Randy makes a motion to amend the agenda to allow us to pass something to the council. Greg?
I'll second.
Greg seconds that, and I'll make that unanimous now.
Yes, so this would be for a commercial property inspection of 2 East McLean Avenue, Scottsburg, Indiana. Inspection cost of $3,055 with additional amounts of $185 for termite testing, $350 for radon testing, and the sewer scope of $350. And each additional accessible clean out would be an additional $275. So obviously they won't know an exact amount until they arrive at the property for this. But we're talking very close to $42,000 or $4,200.
$39.40. So why don't we do this? Why don't we say not to exceed $4,500?
I think that's probably appropriate.
And then we're safe on if there's more of these 350s, so at least one more. So I'll entertain a motion to allow it's right inspection, isn't it?
Yes.
Right inspection to inspect City Hall for all the reasons.
Not to approve for you.
And not to exceed
And
$4,500.
if you would just allow Mike the authority, I mean, I think that we've already executed a number of documents that provide him the authority to execute any and all paperwork necessary to move forward to closing, but you just grant him the authority to retain right services by a services agreement that would be signed outside of it.
So you want that in a separate motion?
I just want everyone to understand that's.
Yes. Well, I think we're still under that.
Yeah.
We've already done that, so the motion is for right inspection to inspect City Hall at a fee not to exceed $4,500.
Greg, I'll second.
Greg seconds that, I'll make it unanimous.
And that would be from the ARPA
That's correct.
professional services line item.
That's correct. All right, we have any minutes to approve? We know the line item for payroll?
Hang on, yeah, it's 1170, 11,910.
1170 and what was the other?
11,910.
11,910,
Yeah, it's the,
so
That's your-
1910.
no, it's your fund, which is 1170.11910.
1190.
10.
1170.11910. Okay. All right, I'll entertain a motion to pay payroll for February 9th, 2024, except for line item 1170.11910.
Again, because we are legally not allowed to approve draws on an account that does not have sufficient funds to draw from.
Okay.
I'll make that motion.
Randy makes the motion, Greg?
I'll second.
Greg seconds that, I'll make that unanimous, so without further ado, I'll entertain a motion, well, hang on a second, I think I do have something here. Well, in our next meeting, can we talk about the area plan salary correction thing that is
Yes.
hanging out there?
So
We need
she
to
is, so, I sat down with her, went over it, I can understand what's going on. There's just been a calculation error, I told her what she needs to do, because we're doing a new salary and ordinance amendment, is send me the information, send the request, we'll put it through, and we'll go about that way. So yeah, it's moving forward.
Okay, all right, I just wanna make sure we're not hanging out there.
No.
And also on the Marty part-time deal, is that gonna be fine for the next time it rolls through?
That's what that salary amendment is
Okay.
for, the ordinance amendment.
Okay, that's all I got, I'll entertain a motion to close the meeting.
Wait a minute, I got something.
No. You already had your one time.
Yeah. But Kevin's gonna love this one.
Do you know how pretty it is outside?
I know, we're going. Kevin.
Yeah.
Somewhere in your spare time that I know you have,
Mike already closed the meeting.
I know you have so much of, I would like you to go ahead, in my opinion, I would like you to go ahead and get, the cost of what we need for chip seal equipment. Look at things, see what, and I would like that to be taken back to the council. We are in our final year, they can keep, or we can send it back, or we can spend it.
Oh, we're not sending it back.
Well, they may.
We're gonna spend it.
So I could, I guess with the amount of money, I'll need to re-advertise and rebid it to actually have the correct numbers. Correct.
And then I would also ask, that with that, when you bring it to council, that we also bring to council what it can save the county.
He did that, there's a big power.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I wanna,
There's a big power.
It was a no-brainer, but it's still somewhat, never mind, I'm not going there.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's just
I
ask for
made-
that to happen.
Everybody knows.
balanced message, so this is what.
I'll
we're
entertain a
supposed to-
motion to close the meeting.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty good idea right now. Let's close the meeting. I'll make a motion.
Randy makes a motion, Greg.
I'll second.
I'll make that unanimous, so kill that bird.